out. Yeah, we're real tough. The guy got on the ground and we killed him. Yeah, we're real men. We're going to show you. And you just win and win and win and win and win, don't you? Every day, you just keep having victories over us. And again, I focus on the police because the New World Order is taking them and twisting them right now and turning them into their battle axe to use against the American people. I know most police are out there actually trying to help the community. But the feds are coming in with all of this training where they kick a pregnant woman in the stomach if she doesn't jump fast enough, or taser old ladies, and now they're upping the power of the tasers, the less lethal munition. And it's admittedly causing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deaths. It's over 500 now. And they like that idea that you could die. By the way, they have the cops get tasered too in their training. A lot of cops are getting heart problems and stuff from it. Better not do that macho stuff. See, they want you to do it so they can legally say, well, our guys have done it. No, sir. It can screw up the little nerves in your heart. I don't care how big and tough you are. In fact, they've done some studies. The bigger an athlete you are, the better a shape you're in, the worse high voltage is for your heart cells. The little cells that control, that's what they do. When those go out, that's when they put a pacemaker in to give a little electrical charge. You see, you don't want to be tasered. You don't want to be... One time I fell asleep at a party in college and they stun gunned me. It wasn't even a very powerful one back then, my foot. And then I woke up, and I hadn't even been drinking, and threw up, whatever it did to me. I woke up and was like, oh, and threw up. The voltage had that effect. Imagine what these tasers are doing to people. It is incredible. And they're just upping and upping and upping the power. Now we're going to go to break. At the 8 after, we're going to get our guest on. In the second segment of the next hour, Tim Larken, former Navy SEAL. He's been banned from England because you're not allowed to teach the public self-defense. The police officers are facing one second-degree murder, the other's manslaughter, the other may be charged. But, I mean, when you're drop-kicking and dropping your knee like you're watching Hulk Hogan from 2-3 feet in the air onto somebody's neck, I mean, come on. That's how you kill somebody, Bubba. Anybody knows that. And, by the way, they train police in how to punch people in the throat, how to punch people in the side of the arteries, how to, once they bend over, how to hit them in the back of the neck. They're trained on all this. And these guys watch UFC. They got a guy held down, and they beat him to death. And it happens all the time. It happens all, I mean, people get killed all the time getting punched once. You punch somebody, you knock them out, they hit their head on the concrete. What did they think happened here? And it's so, I mean, he's sitting there moaning for daddy, and they're saying, don't resist, I'm going to taser you again, just because he's begging. You know, there's nothing worse than that feeling of claustrophobia when everybody's piled on top of you. That ever happened in football? And you're just like, oh, get up, you can't breathe. Imagine that going on for 9-10 minutes while they just steadily take the butt of the taser and bash your eyeballs out, crush your nose off, break your jaw, and then just go, you know what? It looks too good. I'm gonna hit you in the throat a bunch. Kind of like that guy they had in handcuffs in San Francisco they shot in the back. All right, coming up in the next segment, Tim Larken, a master hand-to-hand combat expert, trains U.S. military, police, you name it. He's been banned in the UK, saying his training is too violent to defend yourself. And so we're going to be talking to him coming up in the next segment. UK bans self-defense expert from entering country. Government wants a nation of cowardly, defenseless victims. So that's coming up in the next segment. Very, very important. I'll be on this about 45 minutes. Then we are going to get into all the other world news. Like this report. Why is the Obama administration allowing the Chinese government to buy up U.S. oil and gas deposits worth billions of dollars inside the U.S.? Just south of Austin, they bought up several $1 billion of natural gas. Lawmakers, again, stay largely silent over Chinese takeover of U.S. bank branches. That's out of the Hill newspaper. And I've got another report here where they're buying up giant areas of land. The government. I could care less if somebody came here who was Chinese, wanted to become an American citizen and got land. That's fine. That's the American dream. But the government has got over 6,000 front companies in this nation. Justice Department estimates that. Well, probably a lot worse. One of the Justice Department shipping them guns like Fast and Furious. So we're going to be breaking that down. Very, very serious situation. Also, we have another report here what the government should be worried about and what is in the Constitution for the feds to deal with. 49 headless corpses found in northern Mexico. They found 30-something on the Arizona side of the border just a few weeks ago. I mean, this is getting crazy. But you know what? That's not a threat. Dianne Feinstein says, get ready for more aggressive molestation at the airport. She told Fox News that. It's in an article at Infowars.com by Kurt Nimmo. And they go on to say, because of the new underwear bombing that's so scared, so frightening, the land of the free, home of the brave has to fall to its knees. And we have to have strip searches now. First, they denied they were strip searching old women. Now they say, no, now we're going to take your wives and children back there because the TSA people like it. You know, every week I read about TSA caught with child porn or raping kids or raping people. And you know, that's the point I've made. Who wants a job? Be one thing if you know, probable cause, you check to see somebody has a weapon, you can, you know, actually see without grabbing their genitals if they had to have a weapon. No, this is everybody's guilty until proven innocent, and we're going to, oh, you're a movie star. We're going to stick our hands down your pants. You're Miss USA. They know who you are. So this is the political correctness gone wild. We don't profile. We just say everybody has no rights. Well, that's the Soviet model at its best, and we've got some reports on that. Here's one. TSA flags 18-month-old baby as terrorist, forces family to disembark plane. Oh, yeah, they put 1-year-olds or even younger on the terror list. They say, hey, my son's a baby. You know, Bob Jones is a common name. It's always names like that. And they go, we don't care. No judge, no jury, you don't fly. And now they say you're going to be on a no gun buy list. No judge, no jury. They just say you don't buy guns anymore. Just like Obama can launch wars in Libya and Congress says you've got to get approval. And they say, we don't get approval anymore. We do whatever we want. Oh, look, HPD, pregnant woman raped by security guard at Greyhound bus station. Took her in the security office, allegedly, and raped her. See, who watches the watchers? Who protects us from the system? Because, you know, we all know the system's corrupt in North Korea and Guatemala and many other places. We don't want to become that here, and that's what we have the Bill of Rights and Constitution for. Also coming up, big news on the economic front. Euro officials begin to weigh Greek exit as Euro weakens. Big news on the Ron Paul front. It is all coming up today, totally jam-packed broadcast, and I'll show you that clip of myself with David Hasselhoff on the biggest show in the UK. It's pretty interesting. Stay with us. All right, late last week we ran the headline. It was also reported on the BBC. UK bans self-defense expert from entering the country. That story's up at Infowars.com. Government wants a nation of cowardly, defenseless victims. And what's happening is you got people coming in from Eastern Europe, third world countries, very, aggressive, crime-plagued areas who are pretty tough. And they run into the now desensitized, brainwashed Brits. And I got 2 crew members, Paul Watson and Steve Watson, who live there and work there. And they describe it as that when people get attacked or somebody's wife gets attacked, the average person just lays down and takes it. I've seen cases where a woman is in her house being attacked. She stabs someone with a butcher knife, and they arrest her. There's many famous cases of this. And so they just go after you if you defend yourself because the government wants the power monopoly. And Tim Larken heads up one of the leading groups out there, targetfocustraining.com. Here's the headline. I never dreamed I would come to this, but they banned me in the UK. Is my training too violent? This will be some of the best business he ever gets. Not that he needs it. For over 20 years, he has headed up and run and created the organization Target Focus Training. And Tim Larken has been well known in the self-defense and combat close training world, but under the radar to ordinary folks like you. He's the guy operations like the U.S. Navy SEALs, U.S. Special Forces, and U.S. Border Patrol call in behind the scenes to teach them when it is kill or be killed. During the last 20 years, he's trained not only the elite military, special forces, and law enforcement units, but corporate and civilian clientele in New York, Las Vegas, London, and other cities around the world using a combination of live training sessions and DVDs. A sought-after public speaker, Larken has spoken to CEOs, government officials, and business leaders in over 40 countries on how to use the same principles of surviving life or death violence in the less life-threatening environment of business. And he joins us now again. TargetFocusTraining.com is the website. Thanks for coming on with us.
Hey, thank you, Alex. I appreciate it.
Why do you think you've been banned from the UK? I mean, break that down, how that happened.
You know, I think obviously it's a gross misunderstanding of, you know, who I am and what I do. And also I think it was just a quick reaction to some comments that were made after the riots in August. And I'm pretty sure that people just did a quick view of a couple of articles of who I was and didn't really look into my background at all, and thought it would be just an easy fix. I think they thought they were banning somebody who was kind of a kill 'em all, let God sort 'em out type of guy. And you know, when I was banned, you know, when I found out at McCarran Airport in Las Vegas on Tuesday, when I was presented the letter that I would not be allowed to travel to the UK anymore, it really, you know, it's quite of a shock.
Well, it's also a dangerous police state development when they banned Michael Savage and others. They've tried to block me from coming into Canada, but became a big diplomatic fight, and they had to back off. But, I mean, now they're talking about not letting U.S. citizens leave if they claim we haven't paid our taxes, but there's no judge or jury involved. I mean, this is also an issue of just being able to travel.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's one of those things where the way the law is written on this particular law too is it's written in such a way that it's so vague that you really have very little wiggle room. You can't use comparisons. You can't say, well, you've allowed in, you know, X, Y, and Z who have, you know, resumes that you wouldn't believe, and you can't say that, you know, here I am, a law-abiding citizen, you know, with a 20-year plus history of going to the UK as a military officer and also as a professional contractor with zero incident, with never been cited for even a parking ticket, let alone, you know, inciting vigilantism, and just haphazardly get presented in a very dramatic fashion this letter at an airport here in the U.S.
Well, regardless of what we think of Michael Savage's political views, just because he criticizes radical Islam, they banned him from going to the UK. They're talking about banning people like him from other countries. Were you aware of Michael Savage's case?
Yes, I was. And that's why it was funny when some of these comments were coming out in September about me. It's just, I dismissed it only because, you know, the Fleet Street media over in the UK is very sensational. And so I'll have a story, somebody will do a story on me saying the Sun, and it'll be very sensational, very kill, you know, the stuff that sells on the tabloid side. And then there'll be a very sober piece done on me by, say, Financial Times, Forbes. I've had lots of, you know, coverage in very, you know, some of the bigger media. And I figured, you know, well, of course, people can see this balances out very quickly, and you know, people can make a quick decision of you know, who I am and what my background is. I quickly decided that, you know, that's probably not the case, and I better pay more of attention to things like this in the future.
Well, let's expand on that, because I know you want to be a nice sport about this, but I'm sure you've seen the famous cases, because it's been in the news over the years, where they arrest people that defend themselves or on the street or even their home. So the UK is the ultimate nanny state. Those in control there in the bureaucracy, they do not want the people in the UK learning that they can defend themselves for whatever reason. I mean, do you disagree with that statement, or why do you think they have this anti-self-defense view?
Oh, no, Alex, let me be really clear. I've been very, you know, I think part of the reason I've got the media attention in the past is because I'll highlight a case. You know, you nailed a couple on the intro. I'll highlight a case like this, and